Good morning. First, I'd like to correct what Professor Jones mentioned. I'm not successful. I actually failed with my project. The last 7 years, I did my best, but with collaboration with other persons with other majors. So that's tremendous difficult. So I feel I understand that's almost impossible to collaborate with other persons with different disciplines. So that's the first correction. The second one, please do not give me your aggressive question. I'm not that kind of person. Observe all the pressure into my spirit sometimes. So I'm just kidding. So then I'd like to share my experience with my project titled Science Walden. I already mentioned today before yesterday, first day of the conference. So Science Walden is I started this the project. I didn't know, so I made it actually. So this is big the project. For the first time, so almost over 100 teams actually proposed. So only 2 teams are selected. So I did not expect it. I was accepted. That's so surprised. And after that, I actually stuck in barriers and a lot of stress around that. So I decided to different my actions and strategy. First one, so I'd like to shorten. I'd like to shorten at that time some size of a loop and circle with the material, for example, water and the feces and urine and whatever that is, I selected. So then I did that from the scratch. So second one, so with my team is about the 50 faculties. 50 faculties is about $10 million project for the 7 years. So then I'm thinking, so I'm engineer, of course. So I'm half a scientist and most of my blood is from engineer. So I decided what kind of things are needed to convince and persuade the persons with a different discipline. Because the discipline is our own identity and pride sometimes. If you attack your discipline, for example, if you are chemical engineer, for example, so if other persons, the chemist and civil engineer attack you with your discipline, so you are not stable, right? So then the discipline should be preserved. With this discipline, so we cannot collaborate. Think about it. So I'm not sure, I'm not talking about your team, but in general, so discipline should be kept. So from biological persons, so they have their own discipline. Civil engineer, their own discipline. The chemical engineer, of course, a biological person. So how we can actually resolve all the conflict with this discipline. So because the department is very much the stable area to be protected with war. So then we have to approach to the area of a boundary layer, I believe. So with that, so I'd like to design one idea. So I asked my team to come to some of the boundary layer where one pavilion there. Okay, I built it. Over there, one pavilion you can see, right? So inside the campus, I built that. So then I ask every the member of my team, so bring your own inventions, bring your own result of your research and experiment. So some person brought toilet, they designed. So artists designed their toilet into this pavilion. Now someone brought their biological anaerobic digestion into it. Okay, and then another person bring their membrane process to separate the carbon dioxide from methane, for example. So then all the things. So I didn't ask them for the first year of my project, please do not conduct any research at all. Just getting to think about all over again from the bottom. So that's the pavilion. So I then invited the students and the public of the city adjacent to my university, which is Ulsan city. Then from the Seoul, of course, they visit with the family and to all things to experience their with the toilet inside in it. And then we brought those poo into biological process. At that time, so we deliver by hand actually. So we didn't have any delivery pipeline at all. So we brought that. So research is doing that. So we don't need any discipline at all, actually. So then we actually broil, provided food to the bacteria anaerobic, and then they produce methane. So we have a balloon inside in it. So balloon connected to actually cooking machine. So then children actually experience those types of that. So then inside in it, so someone from the Korean government actually so visit here. So nothing recent, no research is going on. So what happened here? So they very angry for the first time. But I insist. So we have to actually broke or word between our discipline. That's very important, I believe. So that's why we moved into some kind of a transition period with a different notion, without any object, even if we have a material. So we don't have any material object at all. And then, so that's the kind of a festival, right? So research festival, so we need what? Music, right? So I ask students to actually celebrate the project. That's the first one. So they compose this one. So this is the students of UNIST. So they experience inside the pavilion. So they compose some music. So they play this one. 4 seconds. So please enjoy this. So rhythm. So they made it kind of sad to me at that time, because I'm so stressful. Okay, this is pavilion. So we design it. So the design by artists, of course, and architecture. So we have architecture teams inside my team, and the musicians and violinists. So the one half of the teams belong to scientists and engineer. The other team is humanity, psychology, the social, anthropology, so the artists as well. So we get together, but we design together with the artists. Artists actually have a leading role, but engineers says we have to be pavilion looks like a herb of the honeybee comb, for example, because those structures. So we believe from scientific experience. So high power to absorb energy as much as possible from the sun. There should be that's it. So that's we build this one. And then how many person visited for 1 year? 2,000 person actually. So from China, from UK, I'm not sure from Australia, but from US, okay. So he visited, and to China, of course, and Japan, domestic area. So a lot of actually, we don't have to convince other persons through media. So China is visited, and they actually broadcast. So please look at, I'm not sure you understand Chinese. This is the second year, okay? CCTV is economic channel of the China. This is campus of UNIST I belong to. Okay, that's a pavilion, right?
用专用虚拟货币可以在指定的商户进行消费。这样以后，一个成年人平均每月如厕后可领。
Okay, so that's the second year. So everything so we warm up. So sometimes we forgot we have a certain discipline, okay, of a civil engineer and environmental engineers and artists and musicians and psychologists, anthropologists. So we actually, I think, ready. So readiness, right? So that's the time that you mentioned the readiness of a kind of the friendship. So we ready for friendship. We're ready for something to set forth. So kind of things. So we were ready. And then we decide this is a third year. So we would like to deliver or transfer all the facilities, all our spiritual movement into actual house and the laboratory at that time. So then we start to design architecture and things. So based on our experience from the pavilion, and then we think the toilet area should be like that with these types of functions. So that's the we designed this one inside the campus. We name it as a science cabin, but the Korean name is a little bit different from this one. Korean name is 과일집. It's actually 과 is a science. The il is everyday life. Zip is a laboratory. So we would like to build this house of a laboratory where we can do every scientific and humanity activity and economic activity inside this laboratory. So that's why we name it. So that's the science cabin. And then please look at this one. This is the design configuration. So please look at the left-hand side. So place lab, we have engineering inside one house. So we live there. If you visit there, so you can stay in the place lab, and then you have to use what? Toilet. And then you drop your poo. So poo actually delivered to the engineering lab. Okay. Engineering lab, of course, they have a storage bank and biological anaerobic digestions. So then we have a boiler, okay, to boil the water to supply the hot water into this house for shower. And we have the connections from the storage tank of methane to the kitchen, so we can the cook. And the second floor, and we have the studio as well. So in there, so visitors stay there, the students visit to discuss about something, and they play the violin, and then we can enjoy. And so get together is very important. So please remember why Professor Timothy Bernard-Lee in Oxford in 1989. So he used a different language from ours, a hermeneutic language. So he used what? HTML language. Why? He used HTML language to open a World Wide Web. So without any interpretation of a meaning, we just start our communication. Then we connect it to make what? The valuable, the meaning. So that's the why. So we use his idea. So to make this one, to summon all the people into this the places, and then we can have a value, whatever that is. So that's my design. So and this is PV toilet. So we designed this one with the help of the artists and engineers and biological persons. So then you can see, so a poop side and pee side, right? So separated each other. So we have a couple of the phase progress of it. So first time, so we just made it and use it, and we collected all the opinion and complaints or the difficulties, and then we changed the design and over again. So we made this one using the plastic collected from recovery or reuse the plant. So then we give them the design. So they actually melted all the plastic pellet, okay, into this one, and then we coated with the ceramic to protect the minimum actually stain out of your poo. So then that's the design of that. So then while we have a left-hand side, we have an engineering lab. The right-hand side, so we have a living lab. So with glass wall. So we would like to break the glass wall. Okay. So then left-hand side, then you can see the biological anaerobic digestion, bad. This is not bad at all, but name is bad. So then they produce what? Methane. So methane connected to the biogas, the tank storage tank. Then biogas connected to the kitchen with this stove. So we cooked when you the staying in this one. Then we actually this one. So we are slowly interested in some kind of item from the opinion from the so they are complained from the people who stayed this the science cabin, and then when we did experiment to overcome to tackle those obstacles. So that's the smooth transition from the just gathering, starting of communication, and then we have a research with a specific with item. And then someone asks you, you are a biological person, you are a chemical engineer, you are environmental engineer, you have a responsibility to solve this one. That kind of a communication actually urge and stimulate and other persons to do the specific the research. So this is biological digestions to accommodate about 20%. Okay, we designed this one. So then the 20%, the poo and the food waste as well. Okay, so this is a comparison between human. This is already Korean, sorry about it. But this is production rate of methane with the human and the food waste, even the toilet paper produced of this one. You don't have to separate the toilet paper. There's a cellulose and the feed bacteria in it. And this is the urine. Okay, with the urine, not solely urine. This is from dog. This is from a cow. So then we compare every the rate of the production of the methane. So then we have something ideas how we can handle these things by extending this one. So this is summary of this one. Okay, we have a kind of a system of this one and methane. Also, we have a fuel cell. Okay, with a capacity of 3 kilowatt. So, for solar panel, we just operate to generate electricity for about a day, about 3 hours, 4 hours, and most 5 hours, right? But with the methane, how long actually can we operate this fuel cell to generate electricity? 24 hours, right? So this 3 kilowatt is not small at all. So with this one, we have a company to collaborate with one, and they kindly supported the fuel cell, and then we generated electricity with the methane from our poo. So then we use this electricity for the living. This is kind of a unit that we used. So then how we can actually convince people to be part of this project or government persons. So we analyzed, once again, I already mentioned this one the day before yesterday. So based on a business model using benefit to the cost. It's a BC about the 0.8. Somebody mentioned 0.8 is not enough to convince and to make this project successful. Okay, but we have a different approach because we have economists as well inside my team. So they use a different approach with a so-called willingness to pay. So we they ask about the 2,000 persons whether they get involved with these types of toilet because even though they pay additionally to the flushing toilet, so about 80% of the persons, so they would like to pay about a month, about $15 US dollar, 15 US dollar. So then we have energy, and then that's the different proceeding the business model over the BB toilet. Okay, of course we have urine teams. Okay, that's supported by UTS, the Professor Sean. So I don't want to spend too much time with this one. I'm not good at the urine. Of course, we have two different. So we have a recyclable water. So inside the science cabin, we have two different tabs. If you visit that, so you found two different tabs. One supply municipal tap water, okay, from the municipal water treatment plant through the water pipeline, so we can use. The second one is from water reclamation facilities inside the science cabin. So you can select both one. So the ones that we have visitors, and so then we announce we have two different tap, two different water. Even after using a toilet, you can use the left-hand side or left-hand side. If you believe our scientific proof, because we measure all the water qualities more than 70 items. We guarantee the safety of this reclaimed water. So someone actually believe us. So enough to use this reclaimed water. But of course, the other persons they didn't believe us just to use tap water. So that's all the experience and data for us to get those one into our research things. Okay, so those activities advertised through 250 media throughout the 3 different countries. Okay, so that's the almost successful with this one. This is summary of the schematic diagram. And then once again, so I started the first time. So 2 different directions, right? The first one, what is it? To reduce size of a circle within this material circulations. Even if we succeed to the shorten the circulation of the poo, but that's not enough, because I already mentioned that if we focus on the circular economy and other sustainability technology activity with the money, and then the money actually sometimes help us to convince people to be a part of our activity, but actually sometimes, more often than not, they screwed up all the process, because this is too powerful tool of communications. The people sometimes prefer to communicate only with the money. So my grandmother, imagine that. So they try to communicate with their grandson, granddaughter. Okay, when the children young, so the successful, so they like conversation with the grandma, right? But they grow up, what happened? They never actually enjoy to talk with the grandma, right? And at that time, grandma used what? Money to communicate. So in this society as well, so a lot of different times, so the people are actually very difficult to convince and communicate with the other person. And then we use what? Funding, right? So that's the sad story of this one. So that's why I prefer and propose a token. So we have a big gap, the communication meaning and only money, a big gap. And to narrow down this one, I propose. This is only one of my opinion. So the token actually have a story, a meaning in it. opposite to the context of the money. Money does not have a meaning at all. So just very powerful. That's why they're very powerful, because they don't have any the format and context in it, but they powerful. But sometimes we prefer to use different tools to communicate. So that's why we propose what? Token of a physics standard money. So we designed this one. So we designed platform. So if you use the toilet, you got the physics standard money token. So if you use this one, you tap on there, so you got money out of it, like this. Okay, so one drop of your poo, so you can get 10 physics standard money. So then you can use this token, as I mentioned earlier, right? Inside the campus, because campus one selected the cafeteria, they accepted our spirit and motivation and philosophy. So they serve 20 a day, 20 cup of coffee a day, because they believe. So token is for the specific item with a designated person. So then we use this token out of this one. So the students enjoy a lot. So that's the notion, right? The notion of that with these types of that. Please, then we can these types of market, small market, to exchange their valuable things between each other. Please look at this one. So that's the general everyday lives, conjunction with technology all around, and also the philosopher and anthropologists. So they specific order of the economics involved in this the project. So they would like to design some kind of anthropological society with entropy approaching to zero. Because there is no conflict at all. So with money, so we compete each other. But without money, with the token, somehow we reduce entropy down to a little bit approaching to zero. Then we have a little bit different community types of society with the common sense, common values. Okay, so with that, so I ask one person to make this song, and with this is standard money. So please enjoy this song. This is Korean, but and English as well. English letters, English script. The singer is actually a professor in environmental engineering. Okay, so then we come together and collect every idea with this lyric and the musics and everything is get together. So he was a professor of the University of Suncheon as an environmental engineer. Okay. So one German film company, Thurn. So they went to visit the campus and science cabin. So they film actually. So they have about 10 the protagonists in this documentary movie, Holy Shit. And so they visit our research team to get all the activity hours and campus life with the students and myself as well. And they made this documentary film by director Rubin Abluna. So they visit a lot of different festival of film. So also they came to the Korean Seoul Environmental Film and Green Film Festival, and this year as well. Also, as one play in New York, so Broadway. So they the play the the play. So titles Can Make This Shit Up. So they play with me to make Higok play a script, the script with me, and they played on Christmas in 2022 actually. So the story is like this one. So one town inside New York, so between two villages, they have a NIMBY problems with the conflict with the waste and the solid waste and a lot of food waste as well. So then in the middle of play, they actually called me. So in the middle of that, I actually come up through the Zoom. So the day I suggest this is standard money and the BB toilet and so on. So they actually came to some kind of agreement with the resolutions. So that's the play in New York, actually, the play in New York. They called Off-Broadway with a theater less than of a seat of less than 200. So Broadway theater is more than 200 seats, but Off-Broadway theater, they accommodate less than 200. Of course, we have the market share inside the campus. So at the bottom, so we have a collaboration with the community in India, the name Oroville. So they are spiritual. So they would like to adopt the physics standard money with a toilet inside India. And then, then our team to purchase the store outside the campus and near the campus, so that they would like to provide the students with the cafe, nail shops, and food, and the restaurants and hairs. And so about the 20 stores at that time. So they accept our proposal to accept certain amount of their product and the service. Of course, we did not enough succeeded, but I think a lot of spiritual sense, I believe, ideas and the mood and everything is remain in the childhood, children in Korea, in China, and many different places around the world, I believe. So sometimes they revive with toilet and circular economy, different money. So this is it. And of course, so the Hong Kong, as Professor Sean mentioned, the Hong Kong government actually approach and the Malaysian government approach as well. So to build inside Hong Kong, so how many the public toilet do they have inside Hong Kong? Do you guess? 1,000. They would like to rebuild all over again with the idea of the baby toilet, and the gas, the productions, and to be utilized through the electricity. So Malaysian government as well. So they approach us to build a baby toilet in Gaza refugee at the camp. So before that, they would like to build a pilot facilities inside the food court in Malaysia. So after that, they would like to move to the Gaza, the refugee camp. So that's all the story is actually still alive, I believe. So we only have the container equipped with a baby toilet, but I propose the Professor Sons to join us to the place urine facilities as well inside the baby container for Hong Kong and the Malaysian government for the Gaza. So that's the whole story right now is going on with my project. And thank you for your attention. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor Joe. Fantastic and inspiring stuff. So next our target will be the Hong Kong and Malaysia and Palestine for the humanitarian engineering using our urine as well as the business technology we can help our people. So now it's time for discussion. Any question to Professor Joe? Yes, Anthony.
Thank you. I think it was fascinating the way that you combined art and science and music and with the feces money. When they get that token, when they go to use it at a venue, do people know that it came from depositing feces, or can you earn those tokens from many different ways at your university?
So they recognize it from your proof. Absolutely.
So when you go to use your money, they know that you've been to the toilet.
Yes.
Okay.
Once you actually log in the platform, so that they explain all the stories behind it. So that's why they agree to be a part of those platform. This is standard money.
Just wondered if that reduced, if there was a stigma associated with using the token, or are they proud to use the token?
Okay, yeah, that's it. Yeah, they're proud. But the other person is opposed, right? Not everyone actually happy to use these types of tokens. Someone actually concerned because yeah. They produce would still the flushing toilet. Why not? And so continue to use a flushing toilet. This is convenient. This is good idea. Why we have to change to the baby toilet alternative way?
Mike.
Yeah, I agree. I think very, very fascinating and exciting progress. I just had a question. So in terms of where Australia might be interested in this, I know there's a big movement for off-grid systems and a lot of spare cash available for people because they've got moral interests to push, right? So how off-grid potential is, the toilet, and I was thinking more to be a biogas in production of electricity so that people could, move towards more of an based around off-grid living as opposed to maybe more like nutrient recovery, but the basis around off-grid, because I know that that's a big self-sufficiency. There's a lot of people who are very motivated on that principle.
Yeah, so I agree. So so I already mentioned that there are a lot of actually controversies between economic persons, government persons. even if we provided the economic feasibilities and with the gas out of our pieces, but the government persons sometimes are concerned to adopt this one for even newly designed the sector of the urban area, because they have to be responsible for everything. So this is the first time. So they actually sometimes are scared to adopt this one because they have to respond for that. So that's why right now it's early at the stage of the transition you mentioned. So to the methane, even biogas to be electrolyzed to supply the electric cars and not purposes. But we have to wait, I believe. So if someone actually slowly move, our speech slowly move. That's why I propose we have to begin communication first.
Yeah, plus the other strike communications, that these off-grid movements are often independent of government. So they're people who want to and have the money to so
Okay.
yeah, like
Yeah,
communities as well.
Sure.
But, like to deal with waste independently of the sewer system.
Okay. Sure. Sure.
They sort of now take that responsibility on themselves for the regulation.
Okay. Once again, I'm not anarchist, right? But together with taking aside those authorities of a government, then we can start actually between us and with the Pope.
It's not anarchy. It's
yeah. Okay.
It's all
okay.
That there's just no movement of the
legitimate. Yes,
living.
I agree.
That's all up for the
Sure.
There's no breakaway or protest. It's just people who want to live completely off the sewer, water, power networks.
Exactly. Yeah.
My question actually relates back to Anne's question. Students that you were showing using the app, were they trading their tokens or were they actually just looking at each other's stored tokens?
They are not actually. They are not trained at all. So this is from the perception types of that and intuitive types of that. We try to design this app as intuitive as possible. So that's why the engineers and artists and even anthropologists, they approach to design kind of things. So show up. So we have a handphone, so like a philosopher. So they is everything. But if you have everything in it, so we have to be empty, right? So then if you open the platform app, so it looks like black. And if you touch it, if you attach it, so someone actually some configuration, some design show up, and then the students actually recognize that this is corresponding to the value of a pool they actually donated into this toilet in the science world. So those types of approach we have to adopt.
Sorry, I understand that the app is intuitive. I meant were they actually trading their tokens?
Okay, I see. Okay, sorry about. Okay, so they did actually. That's why I showed the video. So they exchange token. So they would like to, if one, for example, one child from Gaza. So we connected each other through this app. So we feel the suffer from the children in Gaza. So then I actually selected her or him and into our comrade and family. Then we can actually share our money and by sending those basic standard money into Gaza and other Ukraine and whatever that is. So yes, we can trade. Yes.
I wondered with that trading whether there's an opportunity there to remove that embarrassment because it may not have been you that created it, may be that you traded.
Okay. Yes.
So this is very inspiring. So thank you.
Thank you.
I did while you were talking, some engineering calculations. That's what I'm doing. So you mentioned 3 kilowatt. That's a fair bit. How many people need to pool to actually get 3 kilowatts? That's the first question. And the second question, maybe it's not a question, but yeah, how many people would we need? For example, in a situation like Gaza, where power is not there, to power small fridge so that a group of people can still refrigerate basic products. So how many people need to poo to be able to run a fridge? So
Okay. Hey, so then I already mentioned today, yesterday, so one person's provided about 200 gram to the 500 gram of the poo a day in average. So out of this one, we have 50 liter of methane. Those methane are corresponding to the in electricity 0.5 kilowatt hour. So then a lot of calculation, of course, but to operate a 3 kilowatt of fuel cell to be generated to produce electricity is the minimum size of the persons, which are 20%. That's why we built biological anaerobic digestions to be able to accommodate 20 persons. So 20% minimum, but more is better, of course. But economic the value and in a conventional benefit to cost evaluation in economic business models, 100%, then we can achieve 0.5 BC benefit to cost. But in Gaza, for example, so I'm not sure the exact Malaysian government tried to build 200% in a food court in Malaysia. Okay, so then the Hong Kong government tried to build the BB toilet in the public toilet inside Hong Kong. So approximately in food court and public toilet a day, so the 1,000 person used this one, 1,000%. So that's the more than enough. But not everyone's dropped the poo. So they use the P and in average, 30%, 300%, I believe. So that's the more than enough, I believe, because 100% is kind of a threshold number of the persons of the poo to generate a 3 kilowatt electric fuel cell to generate this. This is just the average the number. Yeah, from our the 7 years, not 7 years, 5 years experience of
any other, yes.
Thank you so much for a very insightful presentation. I had a question similar to what was asked before. For a household that has a 4-member family, if they want to have a biogas system at home that takes feces as well as food waste and garden waste and all those things, what sort of cost are we looking at to have that kind of system at home, which would partly offset the energy costs as well?
Okay, so that's the good question. So for the small or household with the 4 families, I believe, for example, is we don't have to, or we cannot have any biological anaerobic digestions. So the fancy one. So from a website, so we can have a lot of FRP types of biological anaerobic digestion from Amazon. So it's about a couple of hundred US dollar, I believe. So you can build very easily. But if you have 20 persons and 30 persons in an apartment and a complex or food court and or the refugee camp, so then the more than 100 persons, so I think we have to build the biological anaerobic digestions using stainless, I believe, for safety purposes and collecting effective methane into the safe methane storage tank, I believe. But in general, for a small house, I think a couple of hundred US dollar is more than enough, I believe.
The last question.
There's more the comment, a suggestion. In Australia, we've got eco-tourism resorts like Kingfisher Bay on Ngari, which is Fraser Island in Queensland. And they already have lots of ecological footprint. You know, when you use the shower, use the towel, it tells you. they might be very interested, because to protect Fraser Island for a start, you know, the water table and everything, it could be a great place to approach to set up this urine and feces. They'd be very interested. I think they already have a composting thing for their toilet. So,
Right, food waste there, food.
yeah, got connections.
And the Hong Kong and this the project in Hong Kong and Malaysia in through the Gaza is successful. So I really actually ask you to be part of those feces standard money token community, right? So that then you donate your token from your dropping poo in the morning and send those money into the Gaza area and Hong Kong area and then China and even North Korea, right? And then so that they can use to buy something to eat and save drinking water, and so they can dream to study in Australia, UTS sometime in the future, right? With those token types of money, I hope. Okay, thank you very much.
So we can